Hey everybody, this is Spiffy Guy, and I am here out on a wonderful day hike on the 2nd of February, and it's supposed to be like 65 degrees today. I don't know what the deal is with the weather, but I'm out here and I'm going to talk a little bit about my cook kit and some pluses and minuses for that, as well as some modifications that I made to the gear, so stick around. Okay, so here we are with the cook kit. This is the Coleman Max. It is anodized aluminum, and it comes with a little mesh stuff sack. It comes with a 400 milliliter mug pot with a little frying pan lid. You see, it'll fit right up there. And then this is an 800 milliliter. Both of them have the little fold-out handles. Now, these work pretty well. This kit is a little heavy though when you compare it against some of the other stuff, titanium and some of the nice, lighter aluminum stuff that's out there. But this kit is pretty much bomb-proof. I don't think you can really mess it up. What I use to cook on is I'll either use my Trangia alcohol stove in conjunction with a Nimblewill little stove that I made. This not only acts as a windscreen, but it will also give me the option to do wood, should I need to do wood. During the winter, I'll bring a Guyot bottle, and what I'll do is I'll insert a little shot of the Guyot bottle and the mod that I made at the end of the video. And but during the warmer weather, I'll carry a filter, and I'll just bring like a gallon jug for water. So let me pull the lids off here, and I'll show you some of the mods I made for the Coleman kit. Now, one of the issues that I have with the Coleman kit is the fact that it does weigh quite a bit. These little lids here add up to a significant portion of the weight, and I'll go ahead and insert the little weight here once I have the weights in front of me. But so what I did is I went ahead and I took some heavy-duty pie tins and I made some lids. This is just some aluminized reflective tape, and I made some lids. They fit right on there, fairly easy, and cuts the weight down significantly. These things they don't weigh anything, and they pack flat. If they get bent, I can just bend them back into position, and they work well. Along those lines, what I also did is I also created some pot cozies. These are made out of Reflectix. Actually, these are, well, it's Reflectix material. It's just a sunshade that I made and or I used, and then they just fit in there. Just keep them nice and cozy. And I also have one for the 400 milliliter, and they do store together fine with the cozies on there. They'll store just fine, and this also keeps any soot or anything like that from getting all over the pots inside once I stack them, or getting all over my bag. And my Trangia and a 4-ounce bottle of fuel will fit inside here as well. And then I just put the lids underneath them when I put it in the stuff sack. So that's a pretty simple mod to do, and it doesn't cost or take much time to do. Now, another thing is I put a hole in each side of the 800 milliliter pot, and what I did was I created I used a fishing leader and just a little stainless steel picture wire, and I created a bail essentially, so I could hang the 800 milliliter pot over a fire if I needed to. And I made a very similar mod on the Guyot, and like I said, I'll go ahead and stick the Guyot at the end there. And along with that, I also carry some tin foil. I just think that's a good thing to have, and a titanium spoon. This is a Light My Fire brand. I had a plastic version of this, and it broke making bannock, so I got the titanium one for Christmas. So hopefully my bannock won't break that. So that's pretty much the cook kit in a nutshell. The Nimblewill Stove is pretty useful. If you're at a place that you can't have a campfire or anything, you could probably get away with using this to cook up some food with wood. The only downfall is if you use it for an extended period of time, you do get a lot of ashes, and the ashes will cover up the breathing holes at the bottom. I made this myself. You can find the instructions on the internet. It's pretty simple. I used tin snips and a file to clean up the edges. It's very poorly made, but you know, like everything I make, it works, and that's what matters. I will most likely replace this at some point with an Emberlit stove, which is a commercial version, better made. They do have a titanium one that I think only weighs like 5 ounces, and I forget what this weighs, but I'll go ahead and stick that down there at the bottom. And I made a just a simple little pouch out of duck cloth, and it just folds over, snaps in place. This does get pretty sooty, so I find that useful, keeping the soot off my gear and my pack. So that's pretty much the cook kit in a nutshell. And like I said, I'll stick the Guyot video here at the end. Okay, folks, so we're back here at the house, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and weigh up the stuff. I'm going to show you my Guyot bottle. This is the 38 ounce Guyot design bottle from Nalgene. It's pretty decent. Apparently these are kind of hard to find, but you know, stainless steel. Now what I did is I drilled 2 holes here in the top, and I went to the hobby store and I bought some 6mm split rings. Let's see if we can't get a little bit better close up of that. And what I did is I created a bail much like I did for the Coleman kit, and it's a little difficult to get on and off here, but it actually stays wrapped onto the bottle, so it is always there, which is nice. It's not a piece of equipment that'll get lost, and it's just enough that I could, you know, hang it from a pot hanger, or I could, you know, use it to get it out of the fire instead of having to use a couple sticks to grab it. So the problem with this bottle, and I use this during the winter so I can basically disinfect a large quantity of water. The problem with this bottle is it is heavy. I got the handy dandy scale here, and this thing by itself with the bail and the lid weighs in at 338 grams, which is 11.9 ounces. That's empty. That's pretty heavy when you compare it with an empty juice bottle, which weighs in at 2.5 ounces or 71 grams. Now, of course, I can't boil with this, but if I combine this with the 800 milliliter pot that I have, I could boil in the pot, and obviously I'd have to boil a couple potfuls to fill this up, but this is a 1 gallon jug. That really kind of gives me quite a bit of water for the day. Now, what I did is I created a little lid as well for this Guyot bottle, and it just slides on top of there, so when it's boiling I can keep the ash out, and it may help it boil a little faster. And this is the sunshade material, or you could use Reflectix if you want to buy it from, you know, Home Depot or Lowe's. And this works real well because obviously you'll get all sooty and you'll have a hot bottle. You can slide it in there and at least hold that. And this whole container together weighs in at, let's see here, that whole thing together weighs in at 372 grams or 13.1 ounces. So this is a heavy option. This is not something that I would probably bring along on a camping trip in the summer. In the winter when I don't want to bring my filter because it'll freeze, this is what I'm going to bring. Now I just wanted to weigh up some things here. These are the lids for the Coleman kit, and I'll bring that back in here. And as you can see, so what I'd like to do is I just wanted to weigh up these the Coleman kit stock, just kind of show you what the total weight is. It does nest together rather nicely. I put like a bandana or something to keep these from rattling around. but it does nest up. It's fairly compact, and with the stuff sack, it does make a pretty decent little kit. That comes in though at exactly 1 pound, 16 ounces, or for the gram gurus, 455. So that is pretty heavy when you compare it to a titanium kit. So what I did though is these two lids I obviously replaced. These two lids by themselves are 140 grams or 4.95 ounces. So that is almost a third of the kit right there. And I replaced those lids with these lids. 0.15 ounces, actually 0.2, or 6 grams. So I dropped quite a bit of weight by removing these lids, and I don't really use, I've used this one once as a frying pan and it didn't really work out as well as I had hoped. So these lids by themselves, pretty heavy. So by taking the kit, putting it all together, let's see how much it all weighs together. And these once again are made out of the sunshade material, which I actually have the extra that I use as a sit pack. So with the stuff sack and the lids in there, we are coming out at 370 grams or 13 ounces. So we dropped about 3 ounces taking those lids off. And that doesn't really seem like a whole lot, but 3 ounces from every piece of gear will add up a little bit. Now, this is the Light My Fire spoons. This is the titanium. This is the plastic one. Now, the plastic one weighs in at 0.3 ounces or 9 grams. Okay? The titanium one, surprisingly, comes in at 19 grams or 0.65 ounces. Now this is a case where you've got weight versus rate. I've broken one of these. I was making bannock, it snapped right in half. This is not going to break. So here's a situation where I'm willing to carry the extra ounces to make sure that I'm going to have a durable spoon that isn't going to break. And titanium is a little bit lighter than stainless steel. So that is essentially the cook kit. You know, there's ways that you can shave weight by, you know, really looking at your stuff. I found a website called geargrams.com, and you can create a little account. It's free. They don't send you an email or anything. And you just need the account so you can keep track of your gear. And you weigh everything on a cheap scale. I got this one from Harbor Freight, but you can buy them at Walmart. Just make sure that they measure in like tenths of an ounce. And basically you go to this website, you punch in all your stuff, and it's really surprising how much all this crap weighs. And then you realize that, well, I have all this stuff in my pack, and now I'm looking at a base weight of, you know, 30 pounds plus food plus water for a weekend, and 40 pounds for a weekend back trip, or, you know, an overnight, and it adds up. So I'm constantly looking now at ways that I could shave weight. So the cook kit in and of itself is a fluid process. So, but anyway, if you have any suggestions, comments, or whatever, please leave them below. And I thank you for watching. And, you know, stay tuned for the next set of videos. We have more coming up.